Just to let you know, I have to go in 25 minutes.
I'm so stressed out.
Oh, why?
Ring the
Yeah,
bell. Hi,
yeah.
Stephanie.
Hi, Joanna.
Good to have you here. You know what? We are meeting anyway every week. We are talking very often about self-love, but from the perspective of self-acceptance, from the perspective of making our internal life better. Let's talk about this, how you created for yourself your practice of self-love, and how do you call it?
For me, self-love is um, three things mainly. It is supporting oneself, accepting oneself, and not hurting oneself. So how do we hurt ourselves? We hurt ourselves because we are the ones creating our feelings with our thoughts. So, and as we know, most of our thoughts are unconscious, and a lot of them are really nonsense. we, if we look at them, we don't even agree with them. So,
I'm so stressed out.
oh, why? Why? So, is it right now that you are thinking something like, I don't know what I'm doing? Because the sensation you have right now is triggered by sentences in your mind.
Yeah.
And what are they? Let's put them, let's write them down. What are they?
It has to be perfect. It has to be perfect in 3 seconds. 25 minutes feels
Yes.
like 3 seconds.
Yes. Yeah. So see,
Yeah. There is 25 minutes, and I'm thinking this is 3 seconds, and it has to be perfect. It doesn't. It just has to be.
okay. So of course, you can't feel over something else than stressed. Of course. Like we are feeling a negative emotion. That's not pleasant in our body. It's a signal that we are thinking something that doesn't serve us and that even our body doesn't want us to think.
Can you give a personal example?
I'm publishing a book and it's not released yet. Like the in-print version hasn't been released. And I was feeling anxious. I didn't know why. And I questioned it because we may feel anxious and don't even question it. Like, this is my state. This is who I am. I know that my anxiety is always triggered by a thought, and it might be a very simple thought. And the thought that I had was, it's not working. But the book isn't even on sale. So it is totally nonsense. Like your thought, like I have 3 seconds, whereas we do have 25 minutes to record. Nonsense. To remove the pain, first of all, like we need to identify what is the origin. Like the origin is the thought. I have 3 seconds or 3 minutes, and my book, like it's not working. This is what creates the pain.
And can I interrupt you for a moment? The pain is not physical pain in the body because you are sick, you have injury. The pain is a painful feeling.
Exactly.
It's
Yes.
an unpleasant, negative feeling.
Sometimes a thought is just like, okay, this is the truth. Maybe the thought is that I will not be able to pay the bill this month. And this creates anxiety, of course. But when I create this anxiety, so I hurt myself and I am not loving myself. Whereas when what I need right now is to feel empowered and to switch from this anxiety mode to empowerment. And how we do that is that we go back to what the situation is, like the facts, clearly. And it is possible, maybe that, and that I will probably be able to pay the bill, right? Or anyway, the thing is that I can switch gear, let's say, by thinking that I am going to find the resources anyway to have this bill paid. Thinking that I am resourceful. And this is more empowering than be feeling stuck in this anxiety mode. Mm-hmm.
First, there's knowledge that you actually can change how you feel. It's
Yes.
knowledge about, oh, my feelings are created by my thinking. And
Mm-hmm.
my thinking about something that happens in life is optional, because very often we believe the story. Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
stressing out this morning about something and I believed the story. And I had to simply write down for myself, what are the facts everybody
Mm-hmm.
would agree with in
Mm-hmm.
this situation? And when I wrote down the fact without the opinion or the story about it, then I saw that actually I have an option how to think. I sometimes forget that I feel this unpleasant emotion, but listen, did you know that you can decide what you want to feel in the situation?
Mm-hmm.
So in your example, it was empowerment. And when the person wants to feel empowered, sure, he will think, I'm resourceful. That will create feeling of empowerment, right? It's getting out of the loop.
That's how we built a strong relationship with ourselves, by practicing it, by being very aware of what's going on in our emotional life, and becoming intentional with our thoughts. And another way to reinforce the mechanism is to recognize when we do it, so that we can celebrate it, like acknowledge, and we say like, oh, well, that's good. I'm glad to be here for myself. I got a handle on this feeling, and and this thought, this feeling and this thought, and I have changed it. I have transformed it. That's really cool, because you were there for yourself, like a partner, supportive, which is self-love. So I'm here for myself, and we built that, and we recognize it and say, yes, I'm good. We're a good team together.
I think that people say we are often our worst critics and we beat ourselves up more than other people would do. And for some of us, we are not supporting ourselves and we are blaming ourselves the same way other people blamed us. It's good to recognize, where did that model of thinking come from?
Especially because if we are going through some kind of adversity, the circumstance may be challenging. Okay. We don't need to put another layer of pain, of difficulty, with our with more suffering, with more pain, with regret, maybe, of not, oh, if I had done this, I wouldn't be there now. This is painful to think such a thing, or to imagine the worst case scenarios. Whenever we feel we add more pain to a situation, I have a good example, by the way, for this. But whenever we add more pain to a situation, we are doing ourselves a disservice, or drama, and that is sad, actually, because we, most of the time, we want the opposite of what we're doing.
Yeah, I think that this is a good example when you realized that after your accident, you went through so much suffering, that when you realized that you were creating more of your pain, you were with your mind, you were creating more layers of your pain.
Oh, yes, I did that for a while. I added guilt, shame, confusion. I was very disempowered, because I asked myself so many disempowering questions, very disempowering questions. Like the example that I wanted to give, like how we add more pain. is my son is living in Australia, and we were supposed to meet in Thailand, and he lost his passport. So the pain was, we love each other and we are not going to meet, and whereas we haven't seen for a while. And it would have been more pain to add, okay, so first of all, if I had blamed him and if he had blamed himself, so he's trained now. So, and he said, I'm glad you're a coach, ma'am. But because he knows that what he needed, because he's all alone there, well, he has friends, but is isolated kind of. And without him, I am too, kind of also. And it would have been terrible if we had added more pain, like more drama around it, like all the you shouldn't have done that, you should have gone there before, you should, and regret and blame. What we did is that we recognized that we felt some disappointment, which is normal, but we didn't indulge into it. We recognize that if we are disappointed, both of us, it means that we wanted that. So we recognize the message that is in this painful emotion. There's always a message. Like when you were stressing, if I'm stressing out about the book, for example, like thinking it's not working, and you are thinking I have only 3 minutes. What does it mean? It means that we care for what we're doing. Because we feel bad, we think that the other person is responsible for how we feel bad, or the situation is responsible for how much we feel bad. We focus our attention not on the disappointment and how disappointed we are, and that we will not meet, and that it shouldn't have happened this way, and the frustration, and maybe the anger, and the sadness. We transform it, we focus our attention on the message, so it means that we care for each other. And so we focus our attention on love. Mm-hmm. It means that we love each other. So instead of feeling the disappointment, what I was feeling, once I realized that, of course, it's always a process. Like we discover all the things all the time, but it goes faster and faster the more we practice it, like everything. I filled myself with love. And I was even like thinking that, oh, I love him so much. And that's just the best feeling, of course. So, and in reality, I found out that all the feelings, there's a way and a connection to love. You can take any example. I will take you from where you are to, oh, here is love. And we can always find it, even if it comes from anger, anxiety, stress, frustration, maybe even anger. With something terrible, yes. It will go.
I will tell you, I have an example of anger. Mm-hmm. When I was doing in the past some workshops, one woman said, I realized I am angry at my daughter and I was yelling at her. And then I realized, oh, I'm doing it because I care. And she used anger as the strong emotion to convince her daughter to stop doing something because she cared. Yes. And that also, and we may think of people who do bad things, well, they do them because they are either missing love or they want to feel better. So that's why, for example, in NLP, there is this preposition behind every action. There is positive intent. Did you want to add anything? We are available, both of us, I guess, to help people and transform their feelings and their life in general. Yeah. And it's funny how I am in Phoenix in Arizona and you are in Toulouse in France, and you have the saguaro cactus in the and I guess where this picture is from. It's from France. On the wall. I would have said so. Yes, we are connected. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you. Okay. Bye. Bye-bye.